16 plate Citroën Berlingo. Do a spare key because this one, as you can see, has had better days. Right, first thing, ooh, get a bit of kit. Let's pull the pin. Right, if you look down there, we've got the OBD on board diagnostic port. Well, we're going to plug the gizmo in. Okay, so we're looking for Citroën Berlingo pin extraction all the way down, 2016 model. Bingo. Right, read pin. Follow the instructions. This process requires a working key, which we have. OBD connect, switch the ignition on. Okay, turn the old volume down so I can hear what I'm doing. Switch ignition off. Okay, now it's like watching paint dry. Maybe if we turn it around this way, it'll go a bit faster. Hello, tap, 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 tap. Oh, we did. Switch ignition on again. Switch ignition off. So that's twice. We could just cut and come back to when we've done 8. But we'll sit here. Oh, what's the paint dry? Switch ignition on. Switch ignition off. 4 of 8. 4 more to go. And we're into number 8. And now it will show in a minute the code come up. Wait a second. I think there's one more and then it's the code. And switch ignition on again. And I think it's going to go now. Switch it, 8 of 8. Here we go. If you look, ignition off. Okay, and it should. There's the beep. Switch ignition on and pin code. There's a pin code. Lima Yankee Alpha Alpha. Please record this number because I will forget it. Right, okay. Into the van we shall go. Okay, so we've opened up the remote app, download the files, successfully connected, and then we'll connect up the printed circuit board, like so. Go into the app, search, brand, good old Citroën, European motor, model, Berlingo, year 09 to 18. This is a 2016 model. Number of buttons, it has 2 buttons. And down there, and we search, no items found, so it must be a 3-button one, I'd say. Schoolboy mistake, 3 buttons, search, there we go. So that's that there is this guy's original remote, which we're going to replace with this one. So I now preset it, and it will program the remote and tell it to be a Citroën Berlingo. Done. So that's that part done. So we've put him to one side. Now what we do, take his remote off of here, and we shall, I've got my glasses on so I can see what I'm doing. We're going to clean this out because people, these, you can actually scrape out people's gunk, put that in a petri dish and see what lurks. So that's nice and clean. Okay, and then we go to here, to my little tablet, open this up. Duplicate this blade onto this, but first of all we have to decode the old blade, and so we want clamp side A, stop 2, 1R, 1J, 2J. It's already set up, which is fantastic. Clean all the crud off. Right, stop 2. Put the clean side in, push him down, tighten him up on one side. Change the cutter for the decoding needle. Press start. Zoom in there, you'll be able to see. It's now decoding the key. Yet again, another paint, watching, dry exercise. There we go. So now, if we come over here, it should bring up the original factory code. There we go. There's the cuts, and if I was to put that into the app, it would give me the original factory code. So now, we're going to want to swap over the cutter. Take the decoding needle out. Stick the cutter in. And replace that with that. Finally found it. So that's the new blade. Stick the new blade in, make sure it's in nice and tight. Put it up and press cut, and we will duplicate that onto that. Press the go button. One, two, three. Right, now we've got to swap it over, do the other side. So that side's done. Clean them off here. Okay, so clean it all off because it doesn't like a swarf. Turn it around the other side and do it exactly the same again. There you go. Close it down. Okay, so take him out of there, give him a bit of a clean up. Turn this on. Give him a clean up down here. On the old whizzy wheel. So now we have an exact copy. So we're going to find out if this duplicated blade, so he's working in the ignition, no problem, smooth as butter. But we're having an issue. We know the original one works in the door, but it's not going in that lock. Or that one. And it's not going in that one. So either these need a good flush out, and we can get that one to work, you know, because we know it works in the ignition, or when I've programmed it up, we'll cut another blade and see whether or not we can get that to work. Right, so what we've got now, we've got a new remote, 3-button remote, the new PC board, and we have the duplicated blade from the original one. Just need to put them all together now. So what we're going to do, we're going to put this into here, like so. Line up that. This is where, if you've got fat fingers and thumbs, it can be a bit of a pain in the backside. And in here we've got a pin, and if I'm, there's a pin, and what we're going to do, I'm going to put him down there so I don't lose him because I'm good at that. We're going to pick up one of these. I'm going to stick him in there. Told you, fat fingers and thumbs. Stick him in there. Put him in there. And then we get the massive great big hammer and give it a tiny little tap. And that pushes it in. And then we get hold of this one. Put them on the top there. And make him go nice and flush. A couple more taps. And one more for luck. Has he gone flush enough? I don't know if he's gone flush enough. No, we've got to give him another tap. Sometimes they go in smooth as anything, and sometimes they fight you all the way. I think. Walk this way. Okay, so earlier we've pulled the pin, Lima Yankee Alpha Alpha. I'm going to turn the ignition on with the existing key, and we're going to escape. I'm going to turn the volume down first, and we're going to go back to the beginning. And we're going to do key coding. (2016) CAN BSI, that's the system we're on. Do we need to extract pin? No, we've done that. Lima Yankee Alpha Alpha, remember that. So we're going to program a key. So we need all keys present. So if the existing key wasn't here, it would get deleted. So that gets reprogrammed the same as the new one. So we've retained the pin. So pin code is Lima Yankee Alpha Alpha. Alpha Alpha. Okay. Switch ignition off. Okay. Switch ignition on. Okay. Number of keys to program. We have 2. That's the existing one and a new one. Okay. Switch ignition off. Okay. Switch ignition on. I'll take that off. Put switch ignition on. Key programming complete. So the acid test is, take keys out. So I've got the new key. I mean, voila. Old key. Still working. Now, sometimes the remote functions actually are programmed whilst you're programming the transponder. And sometimes there's a manual function. So let's find out if it's done it. So, no. So what we've got to do is take the key, put it into the ignition, and whilst holding one of the buttons, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and unlock, and it should. There we go. Old key, brand new key. I reckon the customer will be happy. We'll see if we can sort out that key problem.